doing a demo.
Well, you learned stuff that I haven't showed you yet.
Anyways, back in, we talked about COVID, I did a demonstration from the club stop in Miami, and I did it on turning tulips. This was back, I think, in March of 2003, and I think Bud made a tulip after that demonstration. I think you said you did. So, but since then, I've learned a lot of things, do things a lot of different than the first time I did it. Also in the AEW magazine, there's an article on how to turn a tulip. Okay, so let me just see. Lee, I told you not to put your sandwiches in here.
Yeah, it got squished.
Excuse me. Anyways, what I start off with is a rectangular piece of wood, about 2 by 2 by 3 to 4 inches long. That's how it starts off. And what I did here is and all of you know how to drill, so I did the drilling ahead of time. So, but anyways, what I do is first I'll put a tenon on the end, and then I'll insert it, see my pick. And by the way, I'll tell you, I'm really happy with this chuck. I got it on Amazon. It looks like the one-way, but it isn't the one-way. I mean, with the, it just looks like one of the $64, $67 now. I think the one-way is 100 and something. But I tell you, for 1 by 8, this is a pretty decent chuck for doing small items. And then the only downside is there's only one set of jaws. With the one way you get 3 or 4, so that's what you got to weigh against. But anyways, they taught me I always tighten this 3 times. And I swore the first time I did this to one of the guys, one of my mentors, I said, "There's 3 holes in here. You got to do it 3 times." Lee told me 3 times. There's 3 holes. No, there's only 2 of them.
I look what Rudy said. He just studs it up first, then flips it over, does the second hole instead of tightening the one hole out. I really like that part.
So what I do, the first thing I do is I'll drill a hole. Once I have the tenon put on, I'll drill a hole. And I don't remember what this is called.
Forstner bit?
No, is it a Forstner bit? It doesn't look like the traditional Forstner bit, but it's still a Forstner bit. Okay. And I used to start off by doing 3/4 inch, but I found out the bigger the hole, the less material I have to take on. I'll show you what I mean by that. But a Forstner bit is it's about 2 inches or 1.5 deep. Okay, so the next step is round it off. So drill a hole, then round it off. Okay. Yeah, I was looking for my mask. Here we go. The one that's recommended by Jerry.
That's as good as a paper towel, right?
I know.
Keep the chips from getting in your mouth.
Yeah.
Who is that masked man?
And so all I'm going to do is see. Just start off with a roughing gouge, and the idea is just to make it round. And always like to use a tailstock as long as I can.
It fits or it doesn't fit.
Everything's set. And also you want to make sure, and I'm not used to this lathe, that it's down to the low speed. And I can't tell if it is. I think it is, let's see.
But Dave, are there any issues on choosing wood to do this, or just use anything?
I've used it, scrap wood is what I use. I've been using the Spectraply, and you really get nice results with the Spectraply. I have some on the back there. I'll try to do one of those, but they really look nice. So this is cherry from Michigan, and I'm not real happy with it. My sister gave it to me, but I'm not happy that my sister gave it to me. But this is a macadamia nut from a macadamia nut tree. That stuff really is nice. The only thing with that is it cracks so easy, but it's hard to get a good piece of wood from that tree. So the idea is just, make it around.
Don't you need to wear a face shield when you're doing it?
With something this small, I don't. I always wear a face shield, like when I'm turning a bigger piece, and especially if there's a bark on it. I will switch over to this face shield for another reason, but it's just secure, and when I do pens also, I don't use a face shield. But I'm doing any other piece of wood that's bigger than this, I will use a face shield. That's a good question.
Never get any of that.
So your tailstock's not spinning.
Your what?
Tailstock's not spinning.
You sure? What do you mean it's not tight against the piece? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. It's a wood chip, it's sitting on top.
It looked to me like it was spinning. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. I missed that in your class. Tailstock is spinning to me.
Your linesman.
Initially,
Is your refrigerator running?
hurry up and get it. Right? Well, I got some Craftsman, the old Craftsman tools. I mean, that's the way it was done, right? I've been using these, and I tell you, I really like it for, at our club we do some demonstrations at different shows, and it's really taking all these big tools just for doing something like this. That's good. Let me go back to this. It's turning me.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
And I thought you didn't pay attention in that one class.
I have to say now, you got me started on it.
Now, how many different shapes do you do on these? Is it just, because I know the one you passed around is a little bit bulbous, and the one you got there is straighter.
And this one is more like, you know, to me it looks kind of like an egg shape. Some look like an egg shape, you know. It's just whatever. Some of them are just straight. But
Yeah,
they
it
pretty much
looks like
all, the petals all look the same.
The one you got going is curved in at the top a little.
Yeah, when Lee, I was the only one at the class that woodcraft, and Lee was teaching me how to turn, and he never stopped. You know, and so the only way I got him to stop is, I got to go to the bathroom. And that's the only way I got him to stop, so I go to the bathroom and then come back and turn some more. All right, so the next, what I'm ready to do next is to make the grooves for the petals. The cuts for the petal. Or as Lee would say, the pedal to the metal, right? See, Igor, you're safe tonight. Anyways, I appreciate it. So what I do is, get organized. Here we go. I'll tell you this, I got this depth finder at Harbor Freight, and you get them on Amazon. I tell you, this is really a helpful tool to measure the depth of small pieces. And even on pens, when you do a pen blank, sometimes your blank is in a little too far on the wood, and you want to cut it off. Maybe you don't want to sand it. This is good to get the depth. And they're relatively inexpensive. So let me just check the depth. Mark the depth, so I know where I'm at, and come up. Can't really see, can you? Mark the depth, and then come up maybe a ½ inch. That's the depth of the petal. There we go. Okay. And then the length of this piece is probably going to be about 3 inches. So 3. All right. Okay, now the way I mark petals is on the chuck itself. You see the jaws. You see there's a jaw here, okay, and a jaw here. So what I do is I'll mark, put my pencil in line with this jaw, and here's my first line for one side of the petal. Then go to the next one.
Wow, that's brilliant. I've never seen that before.
That was something that I came up with. Because when you do these, when they're square, you just measure the inside, I mean the center of one side, and that's where you draw your lines. But the reason I do the round ones is because when you do this and other wood, there's a nice pattern in there. And if you make these grooves before you turn it down, you don't know where it's going to end up. And I like to get the patterns inside the leaves, the petals. That's something I came up with, a couple of them that I missed. Okay, now for the next step, I will put my face mask on. Because there's many ways you can do it. I use a Dremel with this Dremel tool. If you want to pass it on, be careful. It's sharp. This, I'll tell you what I'll do is.
That's okay.
Okay, it's a little burry on the outside.
We've all got scars already.
And say, well, that was from Lee's demo on such and such. Yeah.
Is this diamond?
No, it's it looks like it is. This is a Dremel cutter for wood. They make it for metal and they make it for wood. This is for wood. So what I'll do is, just to give myself some support, and I'm going to cut through the line here, and that's where I'm going to get the width of the petals.
Yes.
And I don't know if this is.
I don't remember.
And the reason for this is I just have visions of this thing breaking, and that's why I wear it. There's only 4.
Try and make those all the same depth, or do
Yeah.
you vary them to give it a little more natural look?
I tried to make them all the same. I thought that's the way it's supposed to be. But Mother Nature isn't perfect, I guess, I try to make them the same length. I don't know if that matters.
Hey, where do you get these blades?
At online or Home Depot carries.
Home Depot?
Yeah, I've seen them
Yes,
on,
you do.
at Home Depot.
And there's let me pass this around. There's a little mandrel that comes with it that you need too. It's the same pattern as the other. So that's all my hole for the petals. What I forgot to mention is I also drill a 1/8" quarter-inch all the way through. That's for the stem. And the stem is the most important part of the build. You start off with, anyways, bottom line is it's chopsticks. So, you can see you get a 2x4 and you think, never mind, it's chopsticks. But I went to, I forget where it was. We saw these skewers somewhere, okay, and they were less expensive and they're more rounded with a chopstick. You end up with a piece at the end that doesn't look as good. It looks like a chopstick, so you sand it on. All right, so now the next thing I did, came up with, was I needed a pattern for the pedals. So what I did do, is I don't see that pencil anywhere. Doesn't matter. So what I did is, not all of you may have something like this. And Bud knows what this is, because when you use Voltaren, you get this gauge, it tells you how much sap you're supposed to put on your knee.
Hold it on top of the piece of wood so you can see it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
See? So what I did here, a couple ways, is you see how I did the pattern for the leaves, okay? I lined it up with one edge. I've got it so it's centered, go to the center, can you see that? And just make my,
I see it.
like so. And that's how I know to round off the pedals. If it wasn't for arthritis, I'd probably use something else for this. In my knees. The other thing I wanted to mention is the reason I use the 1 inch instead of the 3/4 or whatever. I don't know if you can see this, Larry. Okay, that's good, that's good. Is what I used to do is I used to drill a 3/4 inch, and that left a lot of material here. So you spent more time taking the material out, you know, to get the thickness of the pedal. So I figured, why just make a bigger hole? Plus, if I was coming down too much, if I had a smaller hole and I was trying to make it thinner, I lose a lot of the diameter of the wood. So I found by making the hole bigger and then going back even and then cleaning it out a little, to maybe what, 1/8 of an inch, the size of the tulip is bigger. A lot of them are a lot smaller. I wanted to mention that. Okay, so we got all that. Now, go back to the Dremel. Whoops. See? One more. Uno más, as they say in Miami.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale too,
Ah, okay.
Hollywood, Pembroke Pines.
Also, I made another one that I made, you know, it's not that easy out of Voltaren, but it looked more like a pedal too. So on some of the bigger ones, I'll just lay this on top of it, you know, just come up to the top and draw my lines. And I was worried about the magic Sharpie, but it doesn't stain the wood, that comes out.
Okay,
And then I'll use my shield again,
those are bags of flowers.
because I'm using the Dremel tool to rough out the pedal.
A bouquet of flowers.
I just like, you know, something you rest my hand down and try and, but it's very good. And it's also used for a little sanding, that burr that's on both sides of it. Now, this looks like these pedals are pretty big, so this is going to do some of the- Can you see that? That's sticking my head there. Whoa, you're right, some could fly out actually. See that? Okay. Yeah, I do with a shield. But I do more for other types of turns. And then there's a sanding pad also. I think I passed that around. And it helps smooth it out.
Yeah, cut off wheel.
No, that's sandy.
It's the sanding disc, yeah. It uses the
Like the one
same,
that the,
Oh, okay.
the same device to hold it. But they also have sanding pads and they have metal and wood, like I said, metal and wood, so you can do the metal also. It's like it was pushing on this a little too hard, it's black, burned. You can see the turning time isn't a lot here. It's the pedals and the preparation that takes longer than the actual turning. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to Voltaren and see if I can just look a little big there, come back, and just kind of knock this off a little. Yeah, that is better.
So if you don't do Voltaren, then you can't make this.
That's right. Well, Bengay, maybe they do something like this. Yeah, yeah, that's.
I think I got a defective Voltaren.
But anything, you know, plastic, any plastic card, you know, that's. For a while, they used to get them in the mail all the time. They want you to buy their credit card, so they sent you a fake credit card with John Doe on it. Those will work. Or you can do it by eye. A lot of guys do it by eye. But even with cataract surgery, it didn't seem to help. Okay. So I'd say I wasn't using that when I did the demo, but I didn't have Voltaren there, so I had to do something else. I was doing it by hand.
Is it easier to move on the other side of the lathe?
So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's good. Since you're right-handed, you mean?
We'll see that.
Yeah, that's right. You see my better side. But, or not. Okay, so that's that. It's also what I will do, if it still looks too thick for me in there. I'll tell you, the Dremel is my friend. If I just use one of their drum sanders. And this is something Lee didn't teach me. I learned this the hard way.
Take it out.
Turner's elbow.
Take it out so you don't hit your elbow. You only do that once or twice.
No, that's not true. Definitely not.
All right, so what I'm doing here is going in here and just thinning out the pedals here.
Why wouldn't you turn the inside?
Pardon me?
Why don't you turn the inside, thin it out before you cut the pedals?
Well, I thought I got it the thickness I wanted to, but it's still a little thick.
Oh,
You know, I didn't, what I should do is I saw one video that this guy was turning 1.5 inch. It's usually a 2x2 square, and he was turning a 1.5 inch hole.
Portion of it.
Yep. I do have a 1 inch, or even 1 1/8. This is a little messy already. Now what I could still do that, the only problem is, well, we'll see. If it doesn't work, it's Igor's fault. I could go in there
I'll
and
take
turn
the
it,
responsibility.
but, you know, with these gaps here,
Light touch.
Just turn it on, guys.
Yeah, you just crank your feet up.
yeah, last touch.
It never happens.
After you retighten the chuck.
You tighten the chuck, that should be okay. But,
You stick with your own method.
okay, 1, 2, and there's the third hole. 3. That's what he taught me. Yeah, I guess I didn't know Lee at the time. I didn't realize that was someone back told my friends, yeah, there's 3 holes in there. And he told me there's 3. There's 3 holes in there.
Talking to himself.
Okay.
As I use the two rods, and one part has 3 holes, the other one has 2.
Let's see. My switch is up. Never mind. My switch is up there.
These are primarily end grain, correct?
Yes. Yeah, they're all spindle. But that's the little better. It is messy. Okay. Now what I want to do is go back and add a little more shape to it. The first time you could, oh, you don't forget that. Just in case I have a backup. You know, in case the battery dies, and I charged it before I came.
All right.
That's smart.
Not that I ever,
Keep the pedals from moving as you turn them too. That's good.
that's the bottom.
tail starts
It starts out turning.
Yes, it is. Well, the tail stock, I say.
Hey, that spur, that center has my name written on it.
SKY. I've been meaning to bring it back to you.
Maybe in 10 years.
That belongs to me.
It was on the machine, Lee, that's all I can say.
Okay, I better take that one.
Because I asked Stuart specifically, was there a, you know, a line center, and I brought mine. This doesn't have SKY on it, by the way.
I've been looking for that.
Not very hard. Not very hard. Now, how many demos have you done up here?
A lot.
He said, oh yeah, I know that guy.
Well, I left Jacob's truck at the Florida Symposium when I demonstrated there. They still haven't sent it to me.
Don't worry about it.
Lee.
That's not good for that, that's not bad.
Take their names off before you.
And alcohol removes that Sharpie.
Yeah, okay, good.
Except that's not a Sharpie, that's a perma-pig.
That's
Alcohol
okay.
won't take that off.
It's
Lacquer, lacquer. Lacquer will do it.
If you drink enough of the alcohol, you won't care about it.
Oh, wait, hold on, you gotta read through 2 spots. Smart.
Yeah.
You see that?
Liquor is quick.
Isn't this-
They get the engraver out.
So get your text together.
I know Jerry does some demos on SKUs, so see if I paid attention to one of his demos. You know, but I do like using the SKU on this because, you know, if we're doing the bottom, getting the bottom started.
Take this.
Whoops. That wasn't in Jerry's handbook. Try to use the SKU when I'm doing things like this, just to get practice. You know, even on pens, most of it's done with the SKU. Also, I like this on this particular carbide because it's square, but it's got that radius. It's got the radius here,
Yeah, I think,
and that's good for
I know there was a,
Spread it in or something.
smoothing them
I
out.
think he may have been on the,
Now, as far as the shape goes, what you were talking about, Lee, sometimes what I'll do is I'll leave it thick, and then I'll come here and make the pedal like curl, you know, and change the shape a little.
Yeah, I passed the ones you had on the table around. And
Oh, thanks.
you got a bunch of different curves there,
Right.
which look real nice.
That depends what time of day I did them. No, it's, I don't drink beer anymore when I turn. Nope.
You should.
They don't ever do that. I don't know where we got into that. And this is just a little touch up. What's nice about this, I'm not pushing carbide. I like carbide. You know, some people don't like to use them at all, but there is a square carbide tip, and you got to be careful with that one because when you're using it, it'll dig right in because it doesn't have that radius in there to stop you from digging in the corners. And it really has a nice smooth. Again, this is Michigan cherry. I never turned this. It's a little funky. Okay, the pedals are a little big. I think it's because I made it too. No excuses, right, Lee?
Yeah, that's a Dutch tulip.
That's what
Design opportunities.
Bobby Jones, when I first started coming here, the first thing he said to me when I showed him a bowl, I said, yeah, I just finished this one, but this, he says, don't ever say, but this, when you do something. You know, make it the best you can, but don't say, oh, take a look at this, but this is, I don't like this, or this didn't work out. Bobby James, 2011.
You missed him last month.
Oh, yeah?
He was
He was there the month before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to work with Bobby at Coulter years ago, and we were in the same department. We used to go out for lunch every so often, once a week at least. And he would tell me about back then how he would go to yard sales and get all this exotic wood that people were throwing away. And you know, I didn't think anymore he was using that for turning or whatever he did with it, but he came up with a stockpile of exotic wood. He was well liked there and well respected.
Feel it.
He's still okay.
No, I think this is the best one you've ever done. It's gorgeous.
The one thing, I don't know, should we, could we sand it all here or not? I don't remember, do you do any sanding here or not?
You
Just-
can, you don't.
But it's not gonna be a lot, it's this,
Some just got a shop like that. And then it's
just a little, get some of the funkiness out.
just.
Yeah, I like
They're
that.
not sexy, but you can't overpower that blade. You put a chunk of wood in that blade, 200 pounds wouldn't even move it. It's a great blade.
Still, but like I said, there's a lot of things that I did, like marking them like this, and I didn't do that when I first did this.
1025.
Making a template to do the pedals, I didn't do that. There's a lot of things I'm installing right now to look for something. But I knew what it is, okay. Lee taught me that. No, it was good, but the funny thing about it is, not funny, so Lee had some of this stuff out at Woodcraft. You don't mind if I, no, I'll tell him anyways. Yeah, and he had some stuff out, so some ladies, some people would come by and look, oh, and he stopped teaching, you know, like, trying to sell things. I said, well, okay.
I'm trying to recruit new members.
Well, I was hired there and trying to make up the money for, you know, people that didn't show. That's what it was. That's, could be better there, but, oh, Bobby James, never mind.
Beautiful.
Yeah, they're not done yet, now. See, another one of my devices. And when I first started doing this, I would turn them, you know, on center. I didn't use a chuck, and that was really, you know, it would work out okay, but it's just, sometimes it would fall off. But, so what I came up with is a little fixture, a little jig. Okay? That fits in. You know, it's funny when you turn how many little jigs and things you make, and then you put them somewhere and then you can't find them, you make another one, or
I guess you have a big.
And you burn it.
Or you forget what it was.
yeah, right. Or you use it for something else. Now this one, you notice there's a little tip here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
What that's for is that 1/4 inch hole I drilled in the bottom, so that helps me center it up.
That 1/4 inch hole goes all the way through.
All the way through. Now there's, Mike Peace does one of these, and he only goes through like a 1/2 inch or so. He doesn't have his go all the way through. But, and if you're, look at that. Sky, look at the name, it's Jinx, let me turn it over that one. Okay. I don't want to be held, that's creeping, a little creepy there. That'll work, that's a little creepy. Jeez. What'd you do to this, Lee? Oh, no, it's creeping the other way. No, it's not. Okay. So what we'll do here is now finish. No, put it over here. There we go. This is a spindle, a detail gouge. And I think most of them are at 35, aren't they? I make it at 40 because to me it just seems safer at a 40 degree than a 35 degree. Not as aggressive. That's not too. You know what that means? Well, crank it up, but it's not tight enough.
You gotta lock it down too.
Yeah, I did lock
Otherwise
it
it'll lock
down.
out on you.
I did lock it down, but it's creeping. Let's see. take it out and this would be a good time to put the shield on, just in case it flies. If it flies that way, I don't need a shield.
That's right.
David, David,
Dave,
Dave, can you move away?
Yeah, they'll
Don't touch this when it's turning.
this one.
This way?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. That center one made it
Oh.
very small.
What it is,
No, it's inside.
Then that handle pulled up.
let me see, maybe I did turn this. That is a nut on it, I couldn't have.
Doesn't that pull up, Dave?
Yeah, lift the hand.
Dave,
What's that?
pull that up.
Put one up, this will turn. It helps. You get old Terran buddies. Without the old Terran, he wouldn't have thought of that. No one else knew. Yeah, I see, that's just like the jets are like that.
Not anymore.
No, they don't make them like
They
that?
don't have
Ah,
it.
thank you, bud.
You're welcome.
Just like new. Whoops. Whoops. No, it's not creeping. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. Okay. Another tool. Just reciprocating saw, blade, just the teeth cut off. Parting tool. And that's why you put, with this inside the tulip, when it's just not going to fly off, that'll stop it from flying.
And that's why you don't wear the face mask.
Well, that, only with metal. Okay, then if I, yeah, see, it was burning because it was slick. No excuse. Good thing Bobby isn't here. Yeah, I don't think it went all the way through. Don't try to go faster. Is that Igor?
No,
No.
I'm paying attention.
When's the next demo you're doing, Jerry? I want to make sure I'm here for that. Make sure I have no medical problems at the time, if that's possible.
You better tie it, right?
Well, they got a handicap ramp. We can wheel a stretcher in here.
The big white door with it.
Ah, you sure you want to join, Debbie?
Got my check already.
Oh, there you are, there
Too late to back out
you are.
now.
Oh, I see, she sat in the back because she's new. Okay, got it.
I'm just a guest.
Oh, you're a guest, okay.
She's not joining.
A brave guest.
Yeah.
So she ready to.
So let me see here.
Is that an apprentice check, Chuck?
Now, I don't know what it's, there's no name on it.
Well, apprentices don't have names on them either.
Doesn't
Okay.
say
Not
Stein.
for 65 bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not for $67.
not for $69.
$67 don't have names on it.
Well, Craftsman don't sell those anymore.
What?
Yeah, they do. I just bought one 3 months ago.
But I
Not
tell
their catalog.
Yeah.
you, but
I love
That's
mine.
Online.
The indexing is on the back, it looks just like the one-way does. I mean, it looks just like a one-way
Yeah,
chuck.
that's just like the apprentice.
It looks like a.
No, the apprentice
See,
is,
the key is like an apprentice chuck, so I bet you it's made by the same people. It's a very, very good chuck.
yeah, I mean, it's.
Something I found at, there was one in the auction at the Florida Symposium, and it was real janky, so we took it apart twice, and there was a little burr from this thing on the inside. And it was grabbing, we ground it off twice, and then one of the guys said, no, that piece, you take it out, throw it away, order the key from the Barracuda chuck, and it fits right in there perfect. Yeah, just throw those two things
I have
away.
one of those chucks too. Those
And
are
that
pieces
key's,
of wrap.
that key's
They
10
are.
bucks.
They are, but the jaws fit on this.
Oh, really?
And I do use the jaws a
Probably
lot.
made by the same company then.
They're like the,
It says Sky on it.
what a lot of companies do, they'll sell their second at different rates.
Lee,
Just one company makes them and then everybody puts their own name.
Yeah.
It's the same chuck.
That was good.
Lee. You know, what I was looking for is I have my drill, I keep a battery operated drill, my workshop, and I was gonna take the drill out and drill this all the way.
We'll do it and chalk on the other side.
Yeah,
Do the same thing.
let's see, is this my truck? Yeah, okay. Lee.
Why'd you take it off?
Because I probably was gonna do something stupid. And I said, someone said, you can do that with the chuck on there. I said, ooh, that's smart.
I thought I was the only one here with dementia.
With what?
Dimensions.
No, there's-
Well, some people, it's undiagnosed.
Okay, let's see, this is probably another time to put the mask on.
Yeah.
But if I'd be doing this,
Are you trying to grab that?
yeah, when I just tighten it up a little, I would keep leather strips and I'd put a leather strip around it.
Really?
Yep.
Why don't you just do it?
That's
Should
strange.
do the other side and hold it like that.
The what?
You already have a hole drilled in it.
But it's not all the way through.
Oh, okay.
Why would you think I want to drill the hole again? Oh, there we go.
It's running out of
Yeah, you're
gas.
taking.
It hasn't seeded in yet.
Tailstock is spinning.
If anything I take away from this demonstration is,
You bring a lot of joy.
Dave,
yes,
earlier I said I'm just gonna sit in the back of the room and not say a word the whole meeting.
That
Bring out the best in me.
that will never happen, Lee. I've never known that to happen. There we go. And it was Bud that suggested this. Thank you, Bud. Your name come through. You're not like the rest of them. The pest of
Got
the
one shoot, but again.
Yeah, right. I got one. Well, two, counting Kate. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
oh, this is too much. So then you just put your chopstick in. This is it's this.
Bobby James.
Yes.
Okay, sure.
It's a rough one.
Oh, you got me a flower.
Yeah, right.
I know you did. That's not it. Another question. When it's a plain piece of wood like that, how would you embellish it or do anything else to it?
Well, what I
Or
would
would you?
think, I would probably spray it, one of them, you know, I do embellishing it. I don't know if I would, that wouldn't look natural.
Right.
You know, I could do some rose engine work around it, but that wouldn't look like a real. Well, I thought that's what you meant by embellishing.
Some flowers have wavy petals.
See, this one here, oh, it's right there. This is one of the,
They don't
finish
wilt.
off the petals just with
Right,
the
they don't
dress.
wilt.
That's what I tell the people when I sell them. I say, you don't have to water them.
Yeah.
And some get it, some don't. There we go. See how the idea was to get this pattern right here in the center. And I still have it, and I marked it the same way. But then what I found just today when I was doing this was when I was, I don't know if you can see this here, when I was marking the edge, you know, I was just marking it here, you know, I'm putting this pattern here in the center of the chuck, and that's not necessarily the center of this piece. When I mark it down here,
Oh, okay.
you see what I mean? So
Yeah.
here, if I get it in the center, let me do it this way. Here, that's better. Good idea, Larry. If I put it here in the center, well, let me just do, well, it's too late now, because the petal's already cut. Maybe that's it. Just put it there anywhere, and then mark. That's what I was doing. I was putting it in the, I'm just talking to myself right now. It'll go away.
Don't be sad.
Okay, there we go. Anyways.
Just pretend I'm not here.
I thought that's what you were trying to do. Anyway, this pattern that you get here, I don't know if you're familiar with the spectre ply, is two sides of the spectre ply are not the stripes. You don't see the lamination.
Right.
And that's where this pattern comes from, is the side that doesn't have the stripes. But when you put a piece of spectre ply up there, rectangular piece, you don't know, where this is. Is it going to be the center of the piece you did? In this case, it was further down. You don't know that till you start turning down. I mean, the thing is, on these, that's why I started going round, because you see pretty much the pattern if you want to go with the pattern. This one's a little small. Sky, okay. That's good. And let's see, this is going to be a short one.
Your tailstock's not spinning.
No, I haven't turned it on yet.
You're never gonna live that one.
Never will. That's a good
Oh,
thing.
there you go.
It's a good thing this isn't being recorded.
It is.
Oh,
It's gonna be posted online.
tomorrow.
It is.
It is, really.
We post all of them.
I know.
And the world will see how much fun we have at these meetings.
Larry, maybe we can talk
We're gonna have
later.
a full room.
David?
But it'll be you, 300 views, and maybe 4 people show up.
Let me just. Yeah, see, just a little bit of flaring there is coming out. But this one still had the price tag on it, you probably should take it off.
Oh, that
Oh,
was.
geez.
Yeah. You think there's a bird in here? Lee?
Came from the sky. Sky.
Came from the sky. This is too much. See, this is why we drive from Miami to come here. I use this scraper a lot. I like this. It's a sorbet we got somewhere, but it's just the right size, Every once in a while, just touch it up. It really does a nice job.
It's just a round nose scraper?
Yeah, it's more like flat round nose this time.
Radius.
Yeah, kind of a radius. Yes, it's still the, so what I would do too with this one, like I do, I'll take the Dremel again and shape the petals a little more. You know, these are kind of flat, they're usually a little pointier, but no excuse, no excuse. Thank you, Bobby.
Well, it's a work in progress.
Yeah, it is, it's, yeah.
Have you ever tried to do other than 4 petals?
Yes, you know, I, see, with that is, I don't want you to laugh, Lee, just be serious about this. You have to be able to measure and divide properly. Because if you don't,
Very good thing, yeah.
what you do is you make a jam chuck that's similar to this, okay? And it comes down to a cone so you can put it up against your tulip. But this needs to be 3.5 inches, okay, diameter. You take a string and you measure maybe 3.4, 3.6. Then you divide it by 5. And every time I divide it by 5, I end up with 4 petals. So, you know, that's why I've never done that. Then what you do is, after you have your increments, you know, you put this up against, you know, your, well, this doesn't have this thing in here, and then you, from here, you draw the 5 lines, and now you've got 5 petals. But I haven't got over the part of,
Dave, does your lathe at home have an indexing wheel on it?
yes, it does.
You
It's,
can do it with the index.
Absolutely.
yeah, that's true. That's
3
true.
pedals, 120 degrees each.
That's
You got
right.
it.
I think mine,
But it's right.
no, I was thinking the swivel,
400,
never mind, I
400.
was thinking the swivel, I don't think I have, I'm not sure if I have indexing, I was thinking the swivel head.
Well, you got the indexing on that chuck.
Yep, yes, that's true. There you go. Another lesson, see, that you never
Oh, gee.
learn enough from your teacher. They hold back something just to get you back.
They
you know?
teach you everything you know, but not everything they know.
Exactly. It's like one of my mentors in Miami. His daughter came down from up north to visit, and I met her. And I said, yeah, your dad taught me everything he knows. And he says, he didn't show you everything. You know, I just met the girl, so I don't know what she was, I thought it was funny. But anyways, say she was trying to say he didn't really tell you everything. There's a lot he didn't tell you. It's getting late this time. All right, so what I'm going to do is try and... Let me use the skew for Jerry. It's going to be up higher.
We don't want any big catches now.
Somebody... That's fine, I don't care if there's a catch, but that's always
It's a
good.
catch.
But it was the other side, so it didn't matter. Now, here's a good way to use it, Jared. There, look at that. Have you ever done that before?
I can't see what you're doing.
Oh, maybe it's good.
Move the lathe down that way.
What I was doing is I was coming in this way with the skew, see?
With the long tip?
Yeah,
That's much more aggressive, but it cuts cleaner.
yeah, it's,
Gotta be real careful though.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just be careful on this front row.
You're sitting
You want my
where
shield?
you're sitting right in the line of fire.
You want to wear this one?
Well behind you, so.
I don't know how to use it, so.
That's okay. You want to use this while I do it? Too much. Yes, sir. What are you trying to?
So we can see it.
Well, I wanted to get that one. Now move this side a little bit closer. Okay, there we go.
There we go.
Now we can see.
Now we can see it.
Oh, why didn't you tell me that sooner, Lee?
I just figured that out.
Okay. Oh,
I was
see, you're
looking at-
never too old to learn.
He had this one on a different camera, that up there's overhead.
And there's always an excuse.
Now do that catch again. We got a couple new people. You know.
No, that wasn't bad. Sometimes when you catch it like that, it makes a nice line, all the deep line across the.
I've never used a skew before, I'm still learning.
Good.
Don't.
You don't have to use it.
Well,
Just
gotta
something
learn
that's
how to
nice
use
to
it.
know how to use it.
You'll start skewing.
Skew. That's nothing there to keep it from killing it.
It's always good to have the tailstock in there like that, and it stops it from taking off.
Okay, there you go.
There you go. Still, it's the same. Take another special sock stick for Lee. See, this one's a little better.
And there's a theory.
And those sticks aren't glued in, or are they? Just
No, I don't.
pressure fit?
Yes. Oh, you know, they do have something in in Tulips, it's called a pistol or something?
Yeah, the pestle.
Pestle, okay, where it's like a round and then it's like 5 or 4
Little thing
yellow
on the end.
that are coming up, and there's some
The statement.
guys that make that and put it in here. You know, this is a little, so what I would do is mark it and cut it. Just cut it there, so I know where, oh, it is? Okay. You're done, thank you. Fade out here.
Here's your skew.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, you just,
There you go.
I was gonna suggest the drum.
Yeah, the Dremel would be good.
That's, you know, but I have to put the face mask on. Yep, the skew. Quit skewing around. Okay, there we go. That's close enough. But these, when you put lacquer on these, you see the ones that they really shine up good.
Yeah.
But there's still a little more work on there. I couldn't go. No more excuses. Thank you.
Harvey James.
Thank you.